Tyler Van Dyke going to Wisconsin, committed to Wisconsin. Look, I know that. Look, you have had Miami fans going after you, and now I think it's funny because they're saying on social media that Tyler Van Dyke sucked anyway, even though they were coming after you all year about your thoughts on Tyler Van Dyke, but he does commit to Wisconsin. What do you think about that?
First of all, again, the Miami fans that demanded I call him, like another worldly quarterback, they can go screw. But to talk about Tyler Van Dyke, I mean, this is fine. As I said earlier in the open, I think that there's realistically a world where he doesn't start. I think that that's really possible. I don't think that this is a slam dunk. I think the kid's okay. Yes, he's in a little bit more of a conservative situation, and he's playing in an air raid. It's going to be a lot better for him physically. But this, for some reason, feels like Spencer Sanders, where he might go there and he might not start. This isn't Bo Nix. That's what needs to be established, because I saw that floated out there. He's not going to be Bo Nix. He's not going to be Michael Penix.
Yeah, he's not. I do hold. So here's the thing. I told you that you're not going to like my take, so here it is. You ready? I do think there's one area that I do like with Tyler Van Dyke. You know what it is?
What?
With all the mistakes he's made, and he made this last year, Joe, he completed almost 66% of his passes. 2/3 of his passes he's almost completing. If Phil Longo and the team can limit and work with him on the lack of mistakes, specifically throwing interceptions, he had 12 this year. I do think that TVD does have some traits. Again, not saying that he's a big-time prospect like people have tried to make him out to be. I think he's respectable enough to what Wisconsin can have to win more football games. They're tough on defense. They play fast, physical. They're going to give you everything they have. If they can limit his mistakes, like Joe, if he throws 6 interceptions this year, I'm going to tell you right now, you know what Miami is? Miami's 8-4, maybe even 9-3, right? So there were a lot of times, especially like against Texas A&M, he did show flashes during games where, look, man, this kid can play. He's got the ability. It's just the decision-making. I'll say this one thing. They got to pick this up quickly. Because he's had, Joe, I went and looked at this today. Got so many offensive coordinators that he's had at Miami.
Isn't it 3?
It's 3. So now he's going to a 4th. I do think that he gets a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Confused. Like, hey, maybe offensive coordinator called it this way, and this is the play that it was. He has not been in the system more than 1 year that I think that he can learn and develop off of. And I do think that those are some of the mistakes. I talked to an NFL guy today, and we were just chit-chatting. I said the news came across the ticker, TVD to Wisconsin. He goes, man, if that kid got in the system for more than 1 year, like an actual system, I would really like to see what he can do. So, again, not saying that he's this, massive prospect. When you're throwing for 66% completion percentage, you are making good choices. You're just going to have to limit the bad choices that you're making inside that pocket. I know that you don't like that, but I'm not going to poo-poo on the kid when I know that he did some really good things too.
I mean, by the way, he's not a kid. This is the other thing too, that like,
yeah, he's like 27.
He's 23, 22, 23. Like I'm
okay.
Not far off from. I'm not. That's not directed at you. I'm just saying in general for anyone who gets mad at me for criticizing a kid. This is a man at this point. He's going to be working on Wall Street in a year, not too far from now. The thing with him, I get what you're saying. The problem is that when he makes good throws and everything's opened up and spelled out for him, he makes really good decisions and he delivers the ball with good timing. But his bad decisions are horrendous. He has some of the worst turnovers that I see from a quarterback. There's other guys in college football that make a bad mistake, and it's just an incomplete pass. It's an errant throw. He usually throws a really bad turnover, a really bad pick or something like that. You know what this? I threw out Spencer Sanders almost a little bit kiddingly because I'm saying like, oh, if he doesn't play and this Lock kid ends up winning the job, I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't have that same feel. I actually liked the Lock kid in the few games that we saw him, and he showed some nice things. Clearly, just very inexperienced. But this does, in all seriousness, it reminds me of DJU. It really does. Again, I don't want anyone to try and make this out to be Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels or any of these guys that found new destinations and played amazing. I think that what's more realistic is he goes to a team that's well-rounded around him, that has a good offensive and defensive line, and that he plays slightly above average in their bad games and they end up winning 9 games. I think that him being DJU in 2023 is or 2024 rather, is very realistic.
I don't know how to feel about that, Joe.
Why do you think it sounds negative?
I think it sounds, it's just, yeah. I mean, because again, I don't know. I don't want to defend the kid, but at the same, the player, okay. I just think that if anybody else in the country would have gone through what he went through, you know who went through exactly what he went through, in all honesty? Jaden Daniels did. Right? Like Jaden Daniels went through the same thing that Tyler Van Dyke did, and look what happened. I'm just not going to write him off yet. That's all I'm saying. All right.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.